All right, welcome, everybody. It's another Tuesday, which means it's another day for community conversations presented to you by PECO, providing positive energy for the whole city of Philadelphia. Happy Black History Month. But as I was reminded last week, every month is Black History Month. So we're here to celebrate every month. Got amazing guests coming in for you guys. Hold tight. We begin in approximately 30 seconds to a minute. I'm going to welcome some more people into the chat, into the live stream, into the community. This man I got today, his resume is crazy. Just looking at his resume, I think he's been working since he's been 12 years old. All the accomplishments he made. Congratulations. He's here to talk to you guys about entrepreneurship. It's going to be amazing. One of my favorite topics. I love entrepreneurship. Hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day too. Ooh, Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Love is in the air. It is almost showtime, ladies and gentlemen. It is almost showtime. Community Conversations presented by PECO. We are back once again. Glad to have each and every one of you all inside the community. It's the main man, Archie. We're about to get started in just a minute. Appreciate you guys coming inside the community where everyone is welcome. Kids from all ages, 1 to 99. Couple more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We are on our way in. Studio 76 presents Community Conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Community Conversations presented by the one and only PECO. It is your main man, Archie. I want to welcome each and every one of you back to the community. We're here each and every Tuesday for you. And we're here to uplift the community just like PECO, providing positive energy throughout the city of Philadelphia. Today, we got amazing guests in the building. And this man, his accomplishments are nothing short of amazing. For Black History Month, we're going to show our love to my main man, Michael Banks. But let me introduce you the right way, Michael. This man leads the EEO pillar of the United Way, providing equitable access to both entrepreneur and career opportunities and advancement in our region's job and labor markets. Currently the managing director of employment, Opportunities and Entrepreneurship of the United Way of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey. Previously serves as a president and CEO of African American Chamber of Commerce of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, a financial controller for the Philadelphia startup and vice president for Citibank in the derivative markets division, has his BA studies in the University of Pennsylvania, his BA in urban studies from the University of Pennsylvania. I need y'all to make some noise for the one and only Michael Banks.
Archie, what's up, man? Thank you for having me.
I'm calling you Big Money Michael Banks today, man.
What's going on, man? Thank you. I can't complain to yourself. How you doing today?
Everything's good, man. Before we get started, yesterday was Valentine's, or the day before was Valentine's Day, right? You do anything special? You had anybody special in your life? What you do for Valentine's
Listen,
Day?
man, every day is Valentine's Day over here, man. It's like every day is a day of love, man. We don't wait for a day on the calendar to celebrate it. It's an everyday event. It's like we talk about Black History Month. It's every month. Every day is Valentine's Day. So
hey, man, I love
that's how we live over here.
That's an easy cop out. I love it, man. No, I love it, man. You're right. Every day is Valentine's Day. That's good, man. We appreciate you being in the community, and we're here to talk to you. We're here to talk to the people about entrepreneurship, man. So before we jump into that, what does entrepreneurship mean to you?
Well, entrepreneurship, man, it really is a pathway to, wealth creation, right?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to define something that you love to do, that no one's telling you love to do, and being able to pursue it, and hopefully not just create opportunities for yourself, but create opportunities for your family, in addition to the community. Particularly, in diverse communities, that's one of the greatest pathways out of those communities to make something, greater of yourself. So yeah, it's a lovely field to be in, but it's a lot of work.
A lot of work, man. It's like a lot of people think it's about being your own boss. Is that sort of like what entrepreneurs like being your own boss?
Yeah, so you're your own boss, but at the same time, you're also your own employee. So that's an interesting dynamic. So it's nothing like getting in trouble by yourself. That makes for an interesting conversation, right? You show up late and you got to deal with you. Like that's not a fun conversation to have, man. So you wear every hat in the business, man. And you're the janitor, right? That's the part that people forget about. They think about all the fun part, right? Making money, having an amazing business, but you're the janitor too, man. You got to clean floors, you got to clean toilets. You do everything in the business. So yeah, it's all comprehensive. Yeah, it's not just the glamour and the glitz.
Right, hello, man. And you're from the United Way. So let me ask you, how does United Way help provide access to entrepreneur and career opportunities?
Yeah, so what we have done, particularly in the entrepreneurship space, because this is new for us, right? Historically speaking, this was not something that they invested in directly. So they recruited me to kind of come in and build this new vertical. And part of building any new vertical is understanding what you're trying to build. So what we did first was we launched a research project that we're in the midst of wrapping up now, that we did in partnership with the City of Philadelphia's Commerce Department and PIDC, to better understand what is the experience of entrepreneurs in the City of Philadelphia. And more specifically, what is the experience of BIPOC, which is the Black, Indigenous, and people of color owned businesses, right? Why are they not having the same outcome and experience as other businesses? So we started this research project to understand what do we have here, what are the gaps missing, and how do we change the narrative for these BIPOC business owners in the City of Philadelphia.
And they brought you in to handle all that.
Yeah, man. I don't know how that happened, man. It's like, I think it was like they took names out of a hat, man, and I just happened to have the first last name that they pulled out. But yeah, I'm happy for the opportunity, man.
Hey, congratulations for that, man. It's like the price is right. Come on down.
Absolutely, man. I did the job and everything, man.
We salute you for that, man, for Black History Month. That's big, man. That's a big opportunity for you, man. We know you're gonna lead the right direction. So when I was growing up as a kid, United Way was huge in our school systems. We always had like fundraisers and everything to raise money for United Way. I remember the commercials and everything. United Way, keep up the good works. All that stuff. I was a United Way fan. Yes, so with me putting all that money into United Way and selling them chocolates or whatever I had to sell to get that, like, am I an employer already? Do I have stock in there? Like, where?
I tell you what. I got t-shirts, man. Like, see, this one has some staff, man. I got plenty of t-shirts. So if you're giving and send me the email, send me a note, however you want to do it. I'll hook you up with the staff t-shirt, man. You can rock out however you want, whenever you want, bro. To. Absolutely. We got you, man. We absolutely got you.
Keep up the good work. Appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
So how have entrepreneurs been affected most during this pandemic, especially, man? It's been hard for us out here.
Yeah, so I would say the biggest impact is what everybody's talking about is the revenue, right? You have businesses losing upwards of 40% of their revenue, if not greater, and some losing 100%. And when you think about entrepreneurs, particularly in Philadelphia, and back on my particular focus, which is again those BIPOC businesses, look, not only are they losing the revenue, right? They're dealing with a pandemic inside of a pandemic
Yeah,
because their businesses were not thriving the way that other businesses have, traditionally in the city of Philadelphia. So this has been, like a double down impact. And in
yeah,
addition to that, if this entrepreneur or this business owner does not have a traditional banking relationship, as we've seen with the first round, like the PPP funds, they're often missing from the conversation. They're not even sure how to access those dollars. So there's resources that exist that they can't even connect to. So there's the
yeah.
loss of revenue, there's the disconnect, and then there's the inability to probably even bring your business back because you're the brick and mortar, you don't have an online presence, and you haven't found a way to re-replicate your business because everybody's not Amazon, right?
Right,
Everybody's
right,
not
right,
these big shops that have billions of dollars to
right.
reinvest and change it. And think about it, if you're a barber, like
Yeah,
how do you cut hair remote, right? That nigga
yeah,
where we
yeah.
put it, like come up with like a Zoom filter, right? They got here selling Zoom filters now, right? So it's the struggle is crazy and real for a lot of the businesses that we've been focused on because again they're in that hospitality, they're in the local communities, and unfortunately because people have been stuck in their homes and if you're not running a grocery store, it's hard for you to keep your business up and running. So yeah,
It
it's
is.
been yeah.
So how does United Way or how do you go about helping these people try to keep their businesses going and or keep the spirit of entrepreneurship alive during
Mhm.
this pandemic?
Yeah, I think a big part of it, man, you have to tap into the network, right? And I've been fortunate enough to serve on boards that, that intersect with the work that I do. So when you're talking to these organizations, it's always an advantage to be able to talk about a business owner that someone may not even be aware of, or the opposite, that a business owner, you talk to them and they might even be aware of a resource. So the ability to connect back to people to the work that I do and the work that I'm doing to the people has been like an amazing, an advantage and position to be in because again, I remember just recently, right? I was having
Yeah.
a conversation with a young woman who had a business, and she was like, "A PPP? Like, how do I even get that?" Like, my husband, he got the EIDL, which is a different product, right? But you got to pay that back. And even if the interest rate is low, it's much better to have money that can be forgiven that often activates or turns into a grant versus a loan, particularly when you're a small business owner and you're already struggling to make ends meet. So yeah,
Word.
been
Now,
that
social
connector.
media, I'm not a fan of it. You know what I mean? I'm not really a big fan of social media. Sometimes it gets on my nerves. Too many so different, you got a tweet, now you got TikTok, now you got Instagram, you got Facebook. I'm just like, yo, but like
Yeah.
do you need social media to be a successful entrepreneur in this time? Is it like a very important factor?
Yeah, I would say you don't need it, but it helps, right? Think
Yeah,
about it. Everybody can't afford a website. That's just a real thing. Like they can't
word.
convert their business to a platform that people can find access to them. And there's some people that don't even have smartphones, right? But for the majority of people, they have the smartphones, they have access to the internet to be able to broadcast your business and to reach an audience member that you might not have access to via Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, whatever your platform is, the way to connect people back to your business so that they can find you. I think
Yeah,
that's one of the biggest struggles that entrepreneurs go to, especially the smaller entrepreneurs, is the ability for people to find you. So yeah, it definitely has some benefits, but I'm with you, man. Sometimes it does become overwhelming.
too
Now they
much,
make it
man.
like TikTok, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's crazy.
You got TikTok your business. I'm like,
Yeah,
come
it
on.
is. It's for business, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I'm
absolutely.
from the days well, putting flyers on car windows and sticking them underneath the windshield, maybe stand outside with a
Absolutely.
sign on you or spin it,
Yeah,
something like that. So I'd rather do
yeah.
like more of a face-to-face type person than the social media
Mhm.
world. But I feel like today I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs utilize social media to the extent. And I'm like, man, do
Mhm.
you really have to be on there all day, every day? Can you go back to the old ways of just making flyers and putting them out there and wearing a
Yeah.
sign with your,
The
your
guerrilla
company on
marketing,
there?
right?
Yeah,
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 absolutely.
yeah,
Getting out there, make sure people know what's going on.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I think there's definitely some benefits too. But I see one of the dark sides to it, right?
yeah,
Everybody's an expert on these platforms, right?
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the danger, right? So you can get on there, you can promote your business, but you can connect to the wrong person, man. And it can
yeah,
mess your business up. And they have you cutting corners, doing all this weird stuff, like saying you know how to report things to the IRS, have you sign up for a class. And I think there's a trade-off. There's a balance that people have to strike with social media.
word,
I think that's one of the points that you were making. Like you got to strike the right balance with it. So
word. So how young? I mean, I see a lot of, especially in Philadelphia area, we got a lot of young people that I've been in contact with. and I've seen start businesses 9 years old. You know what I mean? Now, at 9 years old, I'm running to the candy store with pennies trying to get penny candy. You know, I'm trying to count my pennies, trying to get, you know, sweets or play outside, but they starting business. What you think, like, to tell our youth of today, what's the proper age to start? Is there a wrong age to start being an entrepreneur?
Listen, man, I think there's no such thing as the wrong age. I mean, I see young entrepreneurs, you know, young as 9, 6, 7 years old, like, they're starting out there. I think what's most important is finding something that you love to do, right? Yeah. Because if it's just about money and you're not making the money, you're going to find something else, right, that you love to do. But if you find the thing you're passionate about, that passion is going to take you through those hard times in the business, because you will probably be in year 2 to 3 before you actually start to make revenue, right? Yeah. And now let me unpack that a little bit. Not even revenue, like, when are you going to start to make profit, right? Because revenue and profit are two different things. So if you're in something that you don't love to do and you're not turning the revenue into a profit, it's going to be tough to stay in that business. So I don't think there's a proper age, but I think there's a proper mindset, right? And part of the proper mindset is find something that you love to do. Not what your mom, your dad love to do, but find something that you love to do.
That's huge right there, because you see a lot of these young people start businesses, and sometimes in my head, I'm like, are they missing out on their childhood? Do they go outside and play, or do they have friends, or is all their mindset on making money? And at a young age, is it really their mindset, or is it their mom and dad's mindset? Tell them this is what you got to do. And then now you got a Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson situation where, you know, you're missing out on your childhood. So that's why, you know, I just want to know, like, is there a proper age and stuff like that? Because, you know, just, you know, I'm like, go outside and play. And they're like, no, I want to, you know, start a business, you know?
Yeah. And I tell you, I laugh. I think about my personal journey into entrepreneurship. So I got a full disclaimer. It wasn't something I was passionate about. What I was passionate about, Archie, was eating food, right? There used to be a store down the street from me, man. They had cheese fries. And my mom's like, my mom was amazing, right? She was raising 4 of us by herself, working 3 jobs, man. Money was tight. So you had to make money. So I'm like, all right, what can I do? What's available to me? So what was available to me back then was just washing cars. And the kicker that I tell everybody, the reason that I became an entrepreneur at such an early age and did that route versus being in the street is because my mom was a crossing guard, man. You can't be a drug dealer when your mom's a crossing guard, man. Like, could you imagine competing for the block with your mom, man? That's a losing proposition every time. So for me, it was like, I got to do something different. Like, that might work for you, but Mike Banks got to find something that's going to work for him. And what it was that passion to eat food, make my own money, and not get killed by my mom. So I started washing cars, man. You know, I had a motivation, you know, to survive. So that's the journey.
That's amazing, bro. Hey, first of all, shout out to your mom. Big up to all moms out there, single mothers especially, you know, raising their kids.
Absolutely.
I can tell she raised a good young man. You came out good, bro. So similar story. My mom used to work for a candy company. And I was in probably middle school, maybe early high school. And her job was to go into all the stores and take off all the old chocolate and candy and stuff that was about to expire within a week or so. And she'd bring home this big box of candy that was still good for like a week. I'll pack up the backpack and I have it in the lockers, and I'll sell the bars for $1 each. And the exclusive bars, you know, the ones that was limited edition, be like $5, boy. I was the man at the locker. Started being an entrepreneur early, man.
Absolutely.
Just using what I had around me.
Yeah. But what I hear in your story, man, is this, that again, I think that the key is the discipline, right? You had discipline in what you were doing in your approach, and you found something that people wanted, and you were able to say, okay, that might be trash to this person, but it's a treasure to somebody else. And you stuck with it, man. And I'm pretty sure you learned a lot of things from that moment in your life that you still carry with you today.
Yeah, man. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was running for student council too, and I was running for student council vice president. And in my speech, I said, if y'all, you know, if you want changes in the school, make sure you vote for Archie Hershey Berwick. And I had nicknamed myself because they knew to get the candy from. Good times,
I love it, man.
Good candy, good school.
Absolutely.
Young entrepreneur, man. That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, community conversations. Got my main man, Michael Banks from United Way in the building. So, Mike, if people want to find out more about entrepreneurship with the United Way and what you guys do, how do we get involved with you all?
Yeah, so I mean, you can always go to our website, which is, and they changed it. I don't want to mess up. If you just Google United Way, Greater
Yeah.
Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, I think it's under United for Impact. There's a lot of information, not just for entrepreneurship, but for everything that we're focused on. So you'll see a lot of the upcoming projects that we're having, that we're about to roll out. You find access to a lot of the resources that you don't just need as an entrepreneur for your business, but I would say from a holistic approach, like having those wraparound service. So even if you need access to quality daycare, or you're looking for other resources that exist within United Way, I like to see us as like a one-stop solution to solve the problem for the whole entrepreneur, not just part of the entrepreneur. So like a lot of the stuff is on the website. You have my information, the Mike Motivates for Instagram. The stuff it's mostly you're going to find it digitally until we begin to roll out a lot of the products that we're doing early spring with the United Way and our other partners. So.
Nice, bro. Nice. Now, when you're thinking about entrepreneurship, a lot of people think about being your own boss. You by yourself, and you got to do this on your own. A lot of people are like, I got to do this on my own. I don't need nobody else because they're going to bring me down. How powerful or how much do you need a team? How important is it to have a strong team around you or people to, a network, if you will, or something,
Absolutely. So I'll go to an African proverb, man. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others, right? I believe that that's a motto that I continue to carry with me because it's going to be difficult, right? Because you got to have the ability to delegate. But more importantly, you have the ability to delegate, but you have to be honest with your strengths and weaknesses. And where a lot of entrepreneurs fall apart or fall down is the point you just made. They try to do everything. And we're not designed to do everything, right?
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes we look at the things that we need, whether it's people or resource, as an expense instead of an investment. Invest in relationships, like invest in your network, invest in your business, like invest in a quality financial system, even if it's just QuickBooks or something that you get. It's better than having a composition pad, right? When somebody shows up and you're breaking out a composition pad, they're like, wait a minute, this is how you keep your books, right? And then even legal advice, like, don't look at it as an expense. See those things as investment in your business, because everybody thinks they don't need a lawyer until they get sued. And then you realize really quickly that it was never an expense, and it was actually an investment to protect you and your business so that you have something to carry with you into the future. So,
man, that's deep, bro. Because a lot, it's hard sometimes when you want to do something and then you bring in other people, but then they have different ideas about the way you want to do things. So sometimes people want to keep people out just because they're like, they're going to mess up my business or my entrepreneurship because they don't want to do what they want to do instead of doing what I think they should do and everything like that. So it's hard sometimes, but it's very important to have a strong network team. Like you said, lawyer, financial advisors, QuickBooks, all that good stuff.
Yeah. And not only that, Archie, make me think of something. There's so many fantastic resources in the city of Philadelphia, right? So when that person's coming on giving that advice, you have something to sample it against or to test it against. Say, is this person giving me actual relevant information, right? Because otherwise it's like getting the marriage advice from the person that's been married 7 times. Like what they can teach you is how to get divorced, right? and because you got to be careful, right? It's the same thing. And just because someone has an idea does not make them an entrepreneur. Just because someone's been doing something for 10, 15 years doesn't make them a good entrepreneur. Because you'll be shocked how many businesses are not making money or the business is not even viable, right? But they've been there for a while and they're doing just enough to get by, but they haven't figured out how to grow their business. So if you're trying to grow your business, make sure you got the information. So when you have those conversations, you're informed and you're taking what they're saying, testing it against something so that you're not making the same mistakes that they're making in their business. So.
That's deep, man. That's real deep. That was good right there. That was good. That was good info. I hope y'all taking notes out there, y'all. Community conversations presented by the one and only PECO. We appreciate PECO for sure. My main man, Mr. Big Money Banks. Big Money Banks.
I wish,
we appreciate you coming out, but I want you to tell me, like, right now, the 3 main things you would say people need to be a successful entrepreneur or just to get started.
I think I covered one of those, which is passion, right? I think without that, the likelihood of success becomes difficult because it's like anything else in life. Like, it's like, I would liken it to planting a seed. Like, I like corny things that you see in the environment, right? You don't plant an apple seed, put it in the ground and walk away and hope that by osmosis or some other process that it's going to take care of itself. It requires nurturing, right? You got to put it in the right location. You got to do all those things so that you're not just placing in the seed in the ground and wishing, right? You can't be a wish, right? So I think that passion is important. I think you have to be willing to come outside of your comfort zone, because oftentimes, again, back to BIPOC business owners, what we often find out is that these are necessity entrepreneurs. So they're starting a business oftentimes out of their home, in their community, and they see that area as their only customers or their only viable customers. But there's another group of people out there that want access to your products and services, but you have to find a way to connect with them. In order to do that, you have to become more comfortable. I mean, taking that class, creating that online presence or profile, slowing down to set the business up the right way so you're not ultimately getting yourself in trouble. And I would say, if I would pick a third thing, I would say, attach it, like, and this thing may sound crazy, have an exit strategy, right?
Yeah.
Because like anything else in life, sometimes you can have a business and you're like, this is as far as this business is going to go. I need to start thinking about what's next, like a way to leverage or to be able to transition the business. And to use as a really big example, think about Amazon, right? Remember, this guy started out selling books, man.
Yeah,
but he always had a plan in mind. He had an exit strategy for that next thing. And when I say extra, it's not necessarily selling and closing down the business, but what is the next iteration of that business? What's next in your particular, product and services that you offer to make sure that you're remaining relevant as an entrepreneur? I think that's highly critical. That's something I learned from Wall Street. If you're not, it's a grow, change, or die ball game. I'm telling you, that's it. It's grow, change, or die. You're not going to be an entrepreneur for a long time if you don't have an entrepreneur mindset. So
grow, change, die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting that on a t-shirt today when I get off the phone with you. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to put Archie underneath that.
Absolutely, man. Listen, make it happen, man. I worked the back deal out on the side piece. So I get the 10%, right? Recurring revenue. So
grow, change, and die. I love that, man.
Absolutely.
So look, if before we get out of here today, we appreciate you coming through for Black History Month. Talk to us about entrepreneurship, but what would be the last important advice you would give to the youngsters out there that want to become entrepreneurs or even think they want to become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I would say the last piece of advice I would give you is use what you have access to, right? There's so many resources that we have at the library, right?
Yeah.
That people don't even think about using. So again, they'll find that person online that's saying, I'm going to teach you how to make $1 million business, right? And you don't even know how to prove if they're even telling the truth. So read the books in the library, man. Get a book off of Amazon. The Google has so much free information, not just Google, just the internet as a whole. Just find like trusted resources and do your due diligence. Don't get so excited about the thought of entrepreneurship that, again, another corny proverb, African proverb, never test the depths of the river with both feet, right?
Ooh, come on now.
Learn what you're doing before you jump into it. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes people make. They don't test it. They test the depths of the river with both feet and they drown. They don't drown because they're bad people and can't swim. They drown because they did not understand the risk that they were taking. So
wow, man, that's deep, bro. I love that. What you got, an African proverb book in front of you?
Listen, man, I got African proverbs. So I got books like this. I'll make you laugh, man, because you say African proverbs. But I got books like this, man, my old African religion and philosophy book.
Bro, that's dope.
Because you got to know where you come from, right? I think that's critical to understand the right mindset to have. I think, you got to understand your culture. You have to understand who came before you so that you're learning from their mistakes and not making the same mistakes in your life.
Dude, that's Black history right there for real, man. Let me hit you with a proverb real quick. It's coming to me. This one was from the great Martin Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
The man who sleeps on the floor shall never fall out the bed. Come on, man.
I like that, man. The man who sleeps on the floor shall never fall out the bed.
Never fall out the bed.
I like
Come on,
that.
Man. Hit it out with that knowledge, baby.
I like that. I'm gonna put that one on the t-shirt. We can change ideas, man. We support one another.
Hey, right? Absolutely. We gotta do that, especially now, brother. We definitely gotta do that. Yeah. It's my man Michael Banks from the United Way. Next week, we got Dr. Brian Peterson stopping by the community. We appreciate each and every one of you guys coming to the community today. Mike, Big Money Mike Banks. Anything you want to let them know before we go, man? It's in your network now. It's you.
Listen, man. I would just want to say thank you to you. Thank you to the Sixers. Thank you to the PECO for making this opportunity available to me, man. Because again, I don't take these opportunities lightly, man. I'm a kid from North Philly, man. I'm just glad to be here. If there's anything I can say to anyone, it's like, don't worry about where you start, man. It's how you finish, right? You may stay like 100 yards, 200 yards behind your peers and the folks around you, but you can't let that lose sight of who you can become. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes we make is always comparing ourselves to other, man. Love yourself, man. Find your passion, man, and live your life. And don't become discouraged by how your life looks today, because it does not have to look like that tomorrow. So that's all I have, man.
Hey, man, you dropping them jewels, man.
Thank you,
sir.
Make
me go. I want to just add on a whole bunch more.
Let's go, man.
That's beautiful right there,
I appreciate
man.
that.
we was talking about this the other day because it's like you know, life is like a movie, and you know, you heard this a million times, you know, but or like a chapter book, you know, it's just one page
Right.
at a time, one page at a time. So you saying don't get discouraged because you know it's just one page at a time. The next page is gonna be a lot more exciting, man. You know, until the book's done.
Dude, that's it. And here's a beauty, right?
Yeah.
You keep turning the pages, and we're the author. We can write
We
more of the
all,
book. Think
yeah,
about it. We can write more books. Like you can just add more pages to the book, add an appendix,
yeah.
change the index, right? Whatever you need to do, it's in your hands.
Hey, big money, Michael Banks from the United Way. Hey, appreciate you guys coming to the community. Appreciate you, man. Happy Black History Month. We always got to remember to stay Sixer strong out there, baby. Stay Sixer strong.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to PECO. And we're going to see you guys next Tuesday, same time. Make sure you go to unitedway.com, find out more information. There's an entrepreneur in every single one of you guys. Never give up. The story continues. The story continues. And guess what? Like my man, Big Michael Banks said, you the author. Sixer Strong Community Conversations presented by PECO. We out, man. Appreciate you, Big Mike Banks.
Yes, Thank you, sir, for having me.
Hey,